My childhood friend stole every single one of my girlfriends. So I pretended to have a boyfriend to stop him. Instead, he pinned me to the wall and said, "The one I want most, guess who?" To be honest, I got dumped. Again. My ex-girlfriend's reason was the same as the one before her. "Vincent, being with you is so boring. Why can't you learn how to please a woman like Jason Banks?" I closed my eyes, feeling the lush grassland growing even denser on my head. Even though this was the 8th girlfriend Jason Banks had stolen from me, I forced myself to stay calm and agreed to the breakup. The moment she left, I grabbed a knife and stormed over to Jason Banks' house. Stealing your buddy's girl? That's the kind of thing that gets you stabbed 1,000 times in TV dramas. At his doorstep, I punched in his house code and went straight in. With an unshakable resolve, I swore to stab him the second I saw his face. The living room was empty, but the lights were on. He must be in the bedroom. With long, determined strides, I headed for the room. But as soon as I entered, I crashed into Jason Banks, completely naked. I don't even watch adult films, but there I was, staring at my childhood friend's bare body. The trauma was real. Wait a minute, was this guy working out? Looks, family background, grades. He already outclassed me in every way. Now he's even hitting the gym? How many girlfriends does this guy want to steal from me? I lost it and roared, "Jason Banks, you scumbag!" Jason, as cool as ever, calmly put on a bathrobe without sparing me a glance. "What are you doing here? Weren't you cutting ties with me?" I was so sick of his smug attitude. I charged at him to confront him, but I was at a height disadvantage, nearly a full head shorter than him, and my momentum fizzled out. This guy had to be at least 6'3". "Jason, what the hell is your problem? What grudge do you have against me that you've stolen 8 of my girlfriends? Don't you think that's too much?" He gave me a lazy glance, and my heart skipped a beat. "You didn't come looking for me after the first 7. Why now? Do you really like this one?" Jason asked, staring at me intently. Of course. I liked all of them, really. Your taste is awful. Go eat something better." Can you believe this guy? Not only does he steal my girlfriends, but now he insults them too? I mean, does he think my girlfriends are tastier or something? Jason brushed past me and walked toward the living room. Quick on my feet, I shoved him against the wall. "Listen up, Jason Banks. You better stop stealing my girlfriends, or else I'll..." Jason laughed arrogantly. "Or else what? What can you do to me?" He wasn't wrong. If I could do something to stop him, he wouldn't have gotten away with stealing 8 girlfriends. Seeing that I couldn't win, I let go of him and softened my tone. "Fine. I'm begging you. I don't want to die single. We're bros, right? Can't you steal someone else's girlfriend?" Jason's expression darkened. "Begging me? Where was all this humility when you blocked me after your family went bankrupt, Vincent? Instead of figuring out how to rebuild your life, you're wasting time on relationships. Aren't you ashamed?" I wanted to talk about love, but he had to make it about ambition. There was no winning this argument. Dejected, I slinked back to my dorm. Ever since my family went bankrupt in high school, I've been coasting through life alongside my dad. Rebuilding our lives wasn't even on my radar. But still, that didn't justify him stealing my girlfriends. Somehow, word of my greenery situation spread across campus, and everyone started calling me the Green Giant. My roommate, after hearing my story, was full of sympathy. "Bro, getting your girlfriend stolen by Jason Banks isn't even embarrassing. It just proves you have the same taste as a top-tier guy. By extension, you're half a heartthrob yourself. Get lost." What kind of consolation is that? I pretended to kick him. My roommate quickly waved a white flag. "Wait, hear me out. I've got a plan. He steals your girlfriends, right? Then you start dating a guy. Let's see if he can steal a boyfriend too." I got it. Reverse psychology, how this I could work with. Even if I couldn't beat him, I could at least disgust him. Seeing me nod in approval, my roommate grinned with pride. Let the chaos begin. And then came the million-dollar question. "But where are you going to find this boyfriend of yours?" I patted my roommate on the shoulder. "This impossible mission is all yours." Before he could argue, I climbed into bed and fell asleep. To my utter disbelief, my roommate actually found me a boyfriend by the next day and arranged for us to meet at a karaoke bar that evening. Without a second thought, I eagerly headed to the meetup, oblivious to the strange look in my roommate's eyes. The guy's name was Leon Gasper, an athletic, outdoorsy type. If Jason Banks was the kind of handsome you'd see in an anime, Leon was the real-world equivalent, grounded and effortlessly good-looking. "You're not quite what I imagined," Leon said with a shy smile. "How so?" I asked. "You're quiet, not as lively." My smile froze. My roommate must have painted me as some hyperactive monkey. Why did this feel like a blind date? Whatever, if it pissed off Jason Banks, it was worth it. I mimicked what girls do in romance dramas and leaned into Leon's arms. I had to practice so I wouldn't blow my cover in front of Jason. For a second, I thought Leon stiffened, and I even caught a faint blush on his face. Wait, isn't he straight? Before I could figure it out, the door suddenly burst open. Oh, my God. Social death incoming. Standing, there was none other than my ex-girlfriend, Hannah, staring at me in utter disbelief. Vincent, you're gay. Is this because I dumped you? Did it traumatize you that much? I immediately bolted out of Leon's arms, but within seconds, Jason Banks walked in right behind her. With no other choice, I dove back into Leon's arms. So, what if I'm gay? I declared. Love is love. I care about who he is as a person. What's your problem? Are you discriminating? Hannah quickly waved her hands in denial, her face scrunched in disdain. No, not discriminating. If you're happy, that's all that matters. Happy for you. I glanced at Jason out of the corner of my eye. His expression was darker than when he first saw me with a girlfriend. He glared at me like I'd just committed some unforgivable sin. I couldn't help but feel a surge of satisfaction. Finally, I had the upper hand. Disgusting, Jason muttered before storming out in a fury. Hannah quickly chased after him. Jason, wait, aren't we here for your birthday? After they left, I stood up, grinning, and gave Leon a friendly slap on the arm. Bro, thanks for this. Dinner's on me next time. I strolled back to the dorm humming a cheerful tune. Beaming with pride, I told my roommate, you know what? Your plan worked like a charm. You should have seen the look on Jason's face. My roommate gave an awkward laugh. Glad it worked. Really glad. Why do you sound so weird? He wiped sweat off his forehead. Vincent, there's something I need to tell you. It's about Leon Gasper. What, is he just a really good actor or something? Well, not exactly. He's actually into guys. And he's really into you. He wants to meet again. So, you set me up on a blind date. Terrified, my roommate nodded and bolted out of the dorm. Probably to avoid my wrath. I stared at my phone, where Leon Gasper was lighting up the screen. Panicked, I turned it off. Later that night, while I was showering, someone pounded on the door. Thinking it was an emergency, I quickly wrapped a towel around myself and opened the door. It was Jason Banks. What the hell? Didn't he live off campus? What was he doing here in the middle of the night? Instinctively, I covered myself, only to realize, wait, we're both men. What am I even afraid of? Jason Banks reeked of alcohol. Wait a second, didn't he usually avoid drinking? Could it be that I actually got to him this time? Why didn't you answer your phone? He demanded. I turned it off. For hours. Not turning it back on? Were you avoiding me? Avoid you? Don't flatter yourself. I was busy enjoying your misery. Jason stared at me for a few seconds, and when he saw I wasn't lying, the sharpness in his expression softened a little. He was clearly drunk, his steps were unsteady, and he nearly stumbled. Out of the goodness of my heart, I reached out to steady him, but he slapped my hand away like a sulky child. Oh, so now I can't even touch you? Weren't you the one crawling into my bed as a kid and refusing to leave? I muttered under my breath. Jason ignored me, plopped down on my bed, and gave my teddy bear a disdainful look. You still sleep with this? Aren't you too old for stuffed animals? I quickly threw the bear onto my roommate's bed. That's not mine. Jason was silent for a moment before saying, today's my birthday. Did you forget? I didn't. I admitted honestly. Then, where's my gift? Didn't you say you'd spend every birthday with me? Having my ex-girlfriend keeping you company isn't enough for you. I mocked him deliberately. Besides, I was just saying it casually, and you actually took it seriously. Jason's face darkened, and before I knew it, he grabbed my wrist, slamming me against the wall. Vincent, you really need someone to put you in your place, he growled. He caught my other hand and pinned it above my head, forcing me to meet his gaze. My instinct screamed at me to run. Something about his look felt dangerous, predatory. But when I tried to pull away, his grip only tightened. I watched as his Adam's apple bobbed, his expression struggling against some uncontrollable impulse. In a raspy voice, he said, Vincent, if he's allowed, why not me? What? What do you mean? He looked directly at my lips. Is it really that hard to understand? I've stolen every single one of your girlfriends. The one I want most, guess who? What did you just say? My mind went blank, as if I'd been struck by lightning. It was bad enough he stole my girlfriends. Now he wanted me to. What the hell was going on? Calm down, man. We're both guys. This isn't necessary. I can't calm down. Jason snapped, his presence radiating danger. My heart pounded, and a strange heat coursed through me. Was this fear? I regretted provoking him earlier. Given our size difference, if this turned into a fight, I'd definitely lose. Let's not lose our heads. Think about it logically. This goes against social norms. I stammered. Social norms. You're the one who said love doesn't care about gender. Forgot already. Wait, was he testing if I was gay? The guy's cunning. He even brought out the honey trap strategy. I almost fell for it. As I zoned out, Jason grabbed my chin and forced me to look at him. Who's better looking, me or him? Honestly, Jason was better looking, but I couldn't let him know that. Forcing myself to lie, I said, obviously my boyfriend is better looking. Jason let out a cold laugh. Boyfriend? Don't think I don't know what you two are playing at. Then why are you acting like this? Vincent. His tone softened, almost pleading. Don't leave me for someone else. I can't stand seeing you with them. I admit I went about this the wrong way, but I won't do it again. Wait, was he seriously being possessive? Was that a thing between friends? I've always, Jason started, but before he could finish, the dorm room door burst open. It was my roommate holding takeout. Bro, I come bearing gifts to apologize. He froze, his gaze darting between me and nothing but a towel, and Jason pinning me against the wall. His expression went from shock to understanding, and finally, resignation. I'll leave you to it, he said, setting down the food and grabbing the door handle. Don't you dare leave, I shouted, using all my strength to shove Jason onto the floor. Then I dragged my roommate back into the room. You're not going anywhere. I'm not giving you the chance to spread rumors. After dealing with my nosy roommate, I turned around only to find Jason sprawled out on my bed, fast asleep. No matter how much I shook him, he wouldn't wake up. I couldn't help but suspect he did it on purpose. My roommate glanced at me nervously and burrowed into his blanket. You two squeeze in. I'm not sharing a bed with another guy. I sighed and pushed Jason further toward the wall, making just enough space for me to lie down. Ugh, I really regret it now. Out of all the kids in kindergarten, why did I have to play with him? My roommate chimed in curiously. Yeah. How did the people with such different personalities even become friends? That's why we're not friends anymore, I said flatly. Why do you stop being friends? Did you piss him off? Is that why he only steals your girlfriends? I don't know. Probably just bored. To be fair, Jason used to treat me really well. Even though we were the same age, he doted on me like I was his kid. Whenever he got something good, I was the first person he shared it with. If we got into a fight, he shielded me and took all the blame when the teacher found out. Even my mom used to joke, with Jason around, I'll never have to worry about who'll take care of my son. I thought we'd always be that close. But when my family went bankrupt in high school, I gradually cut ties with him. My dad had warned me that in the world of the wealthy, everything revolves around benefits. The moment you're no longer useful, they'll toss you aside. Jason probably thought the same. When he noticed I was pulling away, he turned cold too. One time, I refused to meet him. He waited for me at school and dragged me into the bathroom, gripping my neck like he was ready to tear me apart. Vincent, I don't want to be your damn good buddy anymore, he spat. In that moment, I believed what my dad said. Jason never saw me as a friend. All the kindness was fake. I shoved him away. Good. Don't contact me again. Honestly, I've never liked you. My dad told me to stay on your good side back then, but now that he's broke, I don't have to pretend anymore. From then on, Jason and I were done. I threw myself into dating. It was a normal teenage thing, right? With decent looks from my parents, I wasn't bad looking, though nowhere near Jason's level of breaks hearts everywhere. But no matter how hard I tried, every time I got a girlfriend, Jason would swoop in and steal her before I even held her hand. The first month after our falling out, Jason showed up outside my house. His eyes were red, either from crying or lack of sleep. Softening, I stepped closer and asked, "What's wrong?" But he just stared past me at my girlfriend, his voice full of betrayal. You blocked me everywhere just so you could date. Vincent, even a rock has feelings. How can you have none? Does my existence mean nothing to you? I thought about the day I was turned away from his house and the girl I'd seen there. In a fit of anger, I snapped, "Don't come looking for me again. I don't want to see you." When I got home, I cried into my pillow, completely breaking down. My mom thought I'd been dumped. How could I let go of a decade-long friendship so easily? But if Jason only saw me as a fake brother, there was no point in continuing. The next morning, Jason was gone. I pulled out my phone and saved an unknown number under Jason Banks. Then I opened my messages. It wasn't Jason. It was Leon Gasper. Was that guy really your boyfriend? Do you have time? I'd like to meet you. I didn't dare reply. Honestly, I wondered if Leon was just a bit dim. He couldn't even tell who I was actually dating. As the weather grew hotter, I threw on a short-sleeved shirt. While my roommate was scarfing down breakfast, he glanced at me and froze, his face filled with shock. Dude, you've already got another girlfriend. What? He dragged me to the mirror. Look at yourself. There it was, a bright red hickey on my neck. I was completely stunned. It had to be Jason Banks. That jerk. I let him crash at my place out of kindness, and this is how he repays me? No wonder I felt something bite me in the middle of the night. Disgusted, I scrubbed at the mark with water. What is he? Some drunken pervert. The more I thought about it, the angrier I got. Grabbing a jacket to cover the mark, I stormed off to confront him. As I stepped out of campus, I spotted Jason Banks at the corner breakfast shop. He was breaking up with Hannah. It looked like he was in a real hurry to end things. Why is he breaking up with her? I didn't even get a new girlfriend. Or, is he targeting Leon now? Panicking, I pulled out my phone, and I sent Leon a quick message. Yeah, he's mentally unstable. He's been acting crazy lately. Stay on campus, and don't come out. Leon, clearly spooked, replied, got it. Meanwhile, Hannah was desperately trying to change Jason's mind, but he wouldn't budge. This scumbag. He steals people only to throw them away. Hannah was the campus beauty, and I had to chase her for ages before she agreed to date me. I sighed in regret, but the sound was loud enough to draw attention. Both Hannah and Jason turned to look at me. I was just passing by, I blurted, trying to explain. But Hannah, clearly holding a grudge, grabbed a soda bottle and marched toward me. She looked like she'd been waiting for this moment for a long time. It's all your fault. He's breaking up with me because of you. Why don't you just go die? She raised the soda bottle, ready to smash it over my head. Before I could react, Jason rushed over and shielded me. The bottle shattered on his forehead, drenching both of us in sticky soda. Jason let out a muffled groan of pain and asked in a low voice, "Are you hurt? Did any glass cut you? Say something. Are you okay or not? Wait a minute. What kind of situation is this? They betrayed me first, and now she's trying to bash my head in over their breakup." A fire lit in my chest, especially when I saw blood streaming down Jason's forehead. Hannah, seeing that I was unscathed, grabbed another soda bottle. This woman seriously wanted me dead. I snatched it before she could, slamming it down at her feet. Shards of glass flew everywhere, and Hannah instinctively hugged her head in terror. She should be glad she was wearing long sleeves and pants. Otherwise, she'd be the one heading to the hospital, not Jason. Before she could recover, I grabbed another bottle. Jason held my hand firmly. "Vincent, calm down." I hesitated, then set the bottle down, glaring coldly at a trembling Hannah. I spoke slowly and deliberately, "Still want to hit me?" Hannah didn't dare look me in the eye. Maybe she'd never seen me like this before. Crying, she turned and ran away. Since childhood, I've never lost in a battle of recklessness. If it weren't for Jason constantly drilling good behavior into me, I'd have lost my mind ages ago. After taking Jason to the hospital, we cleaned his wound and discovered a gash on his forehead. I asked him, "Does it hurt?" Worried about scarring. "Would you care if your partner had a scar on their face?" he asked in return. I shook my head. "If you like someone, nothing matters." Jason stared at me intently, as if in a trance. "Vincent, it's been a while since I've looked at you this closely." I rolled my eyes. "Why don't you get your head checked while you're at it?" After his wound was treated and he got a tetanus shot, I took Jason back to his place. As I turned to leave, he grabbed my wrist. "Your clothes are still wet. Change before you go." Only then did I realize how damp and uncomfortable I was. It wasn't exactly a good look. Jason handed me a plain white loungewear set. I was about to head to his bedroom to change when he pulled me toward the bathroom. "Wash up first." He had a point. Soda stains could ruin his clothes, and I wasn't about to pay for them. Once I was clean and dressed, I came out of the bedroom to find Jason engrossed in his phone, his ears faintly red. I crept up behind him. "What borderline inappropriate videos are you watching, HMM?" But what I saw on the screen made me pause. It was a picture of me in swimwear. This was unsettling. What kind of man looks at another man's swimsuit photo and blushes? Pervert, I exclaimed. Jason yanked me closer, pulled my phone out of my pocket, and deftly entered the passcode. With a few quick taps, he handed it back to me. I stared at him, speechless. What just happened? Well, this guy really went and deleted all my selfies from my Instagram and TikTok. The smug look on Jason's face made it clear he'd been wanting to do this for a while. What? Afraid my good looks are too much competition for you? Afraid you'll keep attracting people and make things more complicated for me. That dangerous vibe was back again. I didn't dare ask him why he left a hickey on my neck. I was terrified he'd lose it again. But his gaze shifted to my neck, and he muttered, "Don't go back to the dorms. The bed's too small for you to sleep comfortably. It's perfectly fine for one person. What about for two? Jason Banks, if you keep saying stuff like that, I swear I'll kill you." Jason finally shut up. When I was about to leave, he gave me this knowing look, as if he was absolutely certain I'd come back. Back in the dorm, my roommate was watching an action movie. I nodded in approval. Finally, some normal guy behavior. Who in their right mind stares at their bro's swimsuit photos? When my roommate noticed me standing behind him, he quickly closed his laptop. "I thought you weren't coming back tonight. Don't you think Jason's been acting really weird lately?" "Not as weird as you not watching action movies," he shot back. "I'm straight." "Who said you weren't?" he replied while playing his game. "Hey, by the way, is that hickey on your neck from Jason? Who the hell said that? You'd have woke up together, and it just showed up. If not him, then who? Actually, come to think of it, could it be that he keeps stealing your girlfriends because he likes you?" He didn't even look up to see how utterly dumbfounded I was. Continuing to press on, "You like him? Are you crazy, or am I? Why the hell would he like me? He can barely tolerate me. If he left that hickey, it was probably just to sabotage things with Leon. Jason's likely after him now. Good thing I already warned Leon not to leave campus. I remembered Jason had a childhood sweetheart, a petite, sweet girl who guys couldn't resist. Chances are their families will arrange a marriage when she comes back from abroad, and everyone else will have to step aside. Thinking about that should have put me at ease, but instead, I felt weird. That night, I couldn't fall asleep. Jason's face kept popping into my mind, making me toss and turn. I got up to grab some water, only to realize what was bothering me. My teddy bear was gone. I couldn't sleep without it, so I shook my roommate awake. Annoyed, he groaned. "Jason took it. Said it was your birthday gift to him." I was speechless. That thing hadn't been washed in 2 weeks. It must reek of sweat. How could he not notice? Grabbing my jacket, I stormed over to Jason's place. "Why do you have to take everything?" I demanded. Jason, lounging lazily on his bed, gave me a sit-along glance. "Girlfriend or teddy bear? You can only have one back. Choose." Of course, girlfriends are more important, but being unable to sleep was torture. How was I supposed to break a habit like this? Jason must have seen my dilemma because he patted the spot next to him. "Beg me, and I'll let you sleep here." What's the hesitation? Afraid I'll eat you? It's a win-win solution. It's not like I hadn't begged him before. What's the big deal? Fine. I'm begging you. Let me sleep next to you. Jason looked satisfied and placed the teddy bear between us. I quickly lay down. "Promise me," I said, "you won't steal my girlfriends anymore." "Fine, I won't." He mumbled something else, but I didn't catch it. The bed was too comfortable, and I was drifting off almost immediately. "Vincent, were you mad earlier because I got hurt?" he asked. "What about you? Why did you shield me from the soda bottle?" "I promised to protect you." That was a childish promise. You didn't have to take it seriously. Our lives weren't the same anymore. To him, I was still me. But to myself, I wasn't. After my family went bankrupt, I couldn't adjust to the massive change. I couldn't spend money as I pleased anymore, and every time I wanted to see Jason, I had to travel across half the city. I couldn't afford fine dining, and he couldn't stomach street food. He could treat me to meals all the time, but I couldn't even afford to buy him a simple snack. Whenever we went shopping, if I so much as glanced at something for a moment too long, he'd buy it and save it to give me on the next holiday, even on Women's Day. Maybe he thought I was too poor. Every time he came over, he'd haul in half the mall's inventory, filling my tiny rental with high-end furniture and appliances. But looking at those luxury items crammed into a tiny, cramped apartment, I realized we weren't on the same path anymore. It seemed like his family agreed with him cutting ties too. The last time I went to see Jason, his housekeeper blocked me at the door. "Jason is studying. He can't see you." "Annie, I'm not here to borrow money." She didn't respond, simply turned and shut the door. Through the crack, I caught a glimpse of Jason holding the latest gaming console, sitting next to a petite, sweet-looking girl, his childhood sweetheart. Meanwhile, I was just a broke loser from a bankrupt family. That night, I dreamt about our childhood. A new kid moved into the neighborhood, a quiet, brooding little boy. One day, I brought a dog to play with him, but the dog went crazy. It bit me on the butt, and with my short legs, I couldn't outrun it. Jason, who had already escaped 100 meters away, came running back, Grabbing a thick branch, he scared the dog away and pried it off me. I climbed a tree while Jason got bitten on the leg and needed stitches. When my parents took me to thank him, I cried and grabbed his hand. You don't even like me. I won't bother you anymore. Please don't die. I won't die. I like it when you come to see me. Don't be afraid. I'll protect you from now on. Who would have thought he'd keep that promise for so long? And yet, I'd never lived up to any of the promises I made him. I woke up in the middle of the night, sweating from the heat. Jason's arm was draped over me. I carefully moved it, but the motion woke him. Where are you going? He asked, sitting up without even opening his eyes. To the bathroom. I'll go with you. Cut it out. I'm in a hurry. Before I could protest further, Jason got out of bed, hoisted me over his shoulder, and carried me to the bathroom. Good grief. Was he brain damaged from that soda bottle yesterday? Can you just behave and go back to sleep? I was at my wit's end. I can't sleep. I'm afraid you'll run off. And what's your hand doing? This makes me feel secure. You're a 6'3" grown man. How do you need a sense of security? The first year after you blocked me, I didn't sleep through a single night. I was terrified your parents would move you to another city. I was just a high school kid. I didn't have the means to find you. Thank God you didn't leave. My roommate's words suddenly echoed in my mind. Could he actually like you? The mood felt heavy, so I tried to lighten it with a joke. You're not secretly in love with me, are you? Jason didn't deny it. He just stared at me, his gaze piercing. Feeling flustered, I shifted away from him. But Jason casually removed the teddy bear between us and confronted me. Why did you block me? Weren't you the one who first said you didn't want to be friends anymore? Because I didn't want to be your friend. I wanted to be your man. Jason leaned closer, timing it perfectly, and suddenly kissed me. I was completely caught off guard. By the time I processed what happened, he'd already pulled back. Is this what kissing your bro feels like? That tingly, electric sensation, Vincent. Are you really so dense you couldn't tell I was confessing to you? How was I supposed to figure that out? Can't you just say it straight out? Fine. I like you. Do you like me? I don't. No rush. Sleep on it and answer me tomorrow. No matter how much I cursed at him, Jason, the beast, wouldn't let me go. Desperate, I threatened to poke his wound. Do you want a scar on your face? I don't care. Everything I have is yours. Stop avoiding the question. Get a grip. I can't. Vincent, feel your heartbeat. Can you honestly say you don't want me? I looked at his dazed, intoxicated expression and lost my mind. I flipped the script and kissed him back. Jason, listen up. This is my first time, and I'm not letting myself be on the bottom. You're in charge. The next morning, I felt like my waist was about to snap in half. Jason Banks, the shameless bastard, got everything he wanted and still had the audacity to complain about my stamina. One day, I swear, I'll make him cry. To recover, I skipped days of classes before finally returning to campus. While eating in the cafeteria, I ran into my roommate. He slapped me on the back so hard I almost lost my balance. Where have you been the past 2 days? He demanded. I turned, ready to kick him, but stopped short when I saw Leon Gasper standing behind him, smiling at me with his usual sunny demeanor. Why do you bring him here? I mouthed to my roommate. You said you'd treat him to a meal, didn't you? He mouthed back. How could I have forgotten that? Well, a favor is a favor. I had to repay it. What do you want to eat? I asked Leon with a forced grin. Anything's fine. I'm not picky, he replied cheerfully. Easygoing guy, at least. During the meal, Leon kept smiling at me like a happy puppy, while my roommate conveniently made up an excuse and left. I felt awkward sitting there, but couldn't just leave him behind. Have you been busy lately? Why didn't you answer my calls? Leon asked. I should explain what happened last time. I started, hesitating. I already know. Don't worry, I just want to be friends, he said. I let out a huge sigh of relief. You should have said that earlier. Scared the hell out of me. Leon was surprisingly easy to talk to. No matter how boring the topic, he listened patiently. Aside from the constant stream of insane texts I kept getting from Jason, the meal went smoothly. In just a few minutes, Jason had sent over 10 messages. Why is he there? Does he know about us? Why is our relationship a secret? Stop smiling at him. I'm begging you, okay? After I saw Leon off, Jason stormed into my dorm room. I explained the situation to him from start to finish, and his expression finally softened a little. When will you make it official with me, he asked. There's no rush. Let's talk after graduation. What are you so worried about? I teased him. Afraid I'll dump you? I'm terrified, he admitted. I chuckled and kissed him. Jason's height made the dorm bed ridiculously cramped, and he ended up hitting his head. Frustrated, he shoved me down onto the bed and climbed on top of me. Are you crazy? It's lunchtime. My roommate could walk in any second. I hissed, then locked the door. Two guys locking the door together? That'll look even weirder. Fine, let's go to my place now. Jason didn't bother answering, just kissed me again. Suddenly, the door burst open. I panicked and kicked Jason off the bed. Seeing Jason sprawled on the floor, my roommate's jaw dropped. You two fought. Jason let out a dry laugh, exuding a terrifyingly dark aura. His gaze alone was enough to make my roommate freeze in fear. Without another word, my roommate dropped his stuff and ran off. Jason left not long after, and only then did my roommate dare to return. Vincent, what the hell did I do to piss him off? I almost died of fright. For the sake of our friendship, don't ever let him come here again. Jason is insatiable. His mind seems to be filled with nothing but inappropriate ideas. To avoid further inconveniencing my roommate, I moved into Jason's place for the summer. For the first 2 weeks, we barely left the house. I was so exhausted I felt like I wasn't even human anymore, with heavy dark circles under my eyes. Can you calm down a little? If this keeps up, I'll have to check into a hospital, I complained. Jason reluctantly let go of me. What's wrong? Is your back hurting? What do you think? Fine, I'll cool off. He turned and headed to the bathroom, where I heard the sound of cold water running. For a moment, I seriously considered making a run for it. That night, Jason finally behaved, and I had the best sleep I'd had in ages. At some point, the teddy bear fell off the bed. I wasn't sure when I'd broken the habit of holding it to sleep. Maybe it was after I got together with Jason. After all, I'd only started clinging to it after we fell out. When I used to cry in the middle of the night, maybe I'd liked him all along. I was just too naive to admit it. At noon, Jason did something rare. He took me out for lunch. What a coincidence. I ran into Hannah when I went to the bathroom. She glared at me with the same venom as always. I know you two are together. Was she following us? How else would she know? Or was it just that obvious? I know everything about you two. You're disgusting. Oh, I replied nonchalantly. And so what? You really think his parents will accept you? I hadn't actually thought about that, but honestly, I didn't care. I've always been the type to let things slide without overthinking. Sooner or later, you'll turn into a parasite. Ever since your family went bankrupt, you're nothing but a nobody. What makes you think you're worthy of being with him? I flicked the water droplets off my hands and looked at her indifferently. Because he loves me. Because he's willing. If you're so upset, why don't you try clinging to him? See if he cares. Hannah gritted her teeth in rage, but didn't lash out, probably worried I'd react like last time. I stepped around her to leave, but she suddenly grabbed my arm. Vincent, I'm pregnant. I stared at her, then calmly pulled my arm free. It's Jason Banks' child, she added, raising the stakes. I stayed silent for a moment, then said, show me the ultrasound. Her tears abruptly stopped. She clearly hadn't expected that response. Who carries that around with them? Do you honestly think I believe you? From childhood, countless girls have chased after Jason, and he's never even looked at them. And you're the 8th girlfriend he's stolen from me, and he didn't even touch the first 7. What makes you so special? Do you have an extra eye or something? Vincent, Hannah was fuming. Don't come looking for me again. And don't stir things up with Jason, either. I have nothing to lose. Push me far enough, and I'll do whatever it takes. Hannah stormed off, clearly shaken. After lunch, we returned home. Jason got a call and stepped out onto the balcony to take it. I had a pretty good idea who was on the other end. When Jason came back, his face was dark, and he grabbed his coat. Stay here and wait for me to come back. That night, Jason didn't return. The next morning, while I was eating breakfast in the living room, I heard the door open. I got up eagerly, but it was Jason's father, Mr. Banks. He gave me a faint smile despite his stern demeanor. Vincent, it's been a while. How are your parents doing? They're doing well, I replied. Mr. Banks sat down on the sofa. Jason is a stubborn boy. I came here today to ask you to persuade him to move back home. He's my only son, and I don't want him to go down the wrong path. I hope you can understand. Mr. Banks, I can't make him do anything. Vincent, Mr. Banks interrupted, when your family ran into trouble. I helped both you and your parents. Now it's time for you to repay that favor, not by encouraging Jason to act recklessly. Otherwise, your family might end up in trouble again. I'm sure you don't want your parents to experience homelessness a second time, do you? He wasn't wrong. When my family fell apart, the Banks family had helped us out quite a bit. If I were independent, I'd argue back. But right now, I was nothing. I still relied on my family, and Jason covered all our expenses when we went out. His money, after all, came from his family. We weren't in a position to go against them. Before leaving, Mr. Banks placed a check on the table. Send my regards to your parents. This is for your tuition. If it's not enough, come to me for more. He might as well have told me to get lost. That evening, Jason came home, looking utterly exhausted. I walked over and hugged him. I've been spending so much time with you. I haven't gone home to see my parents yet. I'll go with you, he offered. No need. We're family. There are things outsiders shouldn't hear. Am I still an outsider? Jason asked, turning to hug me tightly. That night, I couldn't sleep. The next morning, while Jason was still asleep, I packed my few belongings and left. 2 weeks later, Jason showed up at my door. Why haven't you answered my calls? Didn't you say you'd come back after a few days at home? Did something happen? I pulled him aside to avoid my parents seeing him. No, nothing happened. I'm just over it. What do you mean? Jason asked cautiously. Let's break up, I said. Why? I've come to my senses. I don't like you. I was just having fun. I know. But I'll treat you well. Give it time and you'll grow to like me, Jason. I'm straight. I don't want to keep this up with you. So am I. But I'm not playing around. I want to be with you for the rest of my life. Jason grabbed my hand, his tone almost pleading. Vincent, don't leave me like you did before. I shook his hand off and walked back into my room. Don't come looking for me again. I blocked Jason's contact once more. He had asked me once, Vincent, will you ever block me again? I had promised him, never again. I've learned my lesson. Jason had replied, if that time ever comes, I won't chase after you anymore. I'll just think I wasn't good enough for you and work harder to give us a future. And Jason Banks kept his word. He didn't come looking for me, nor did he beg to get back together. But what was I waiting for? After years of coasting, my dad finally pulled himself together. One day, after a huge fight with my mom, he used what little savings we had left to rent a shop and open a small restaurant. Having spent years networking and being a picky eater himself, my dad had developed impressive cooking skills. At first, business was slow, but thanks to word of mouth from our neighbors, it gradually picked up. Eventually, the restaurant became a popular spot online. I started helping out after work. One of our regular customers, an older woman, liked to tease me. Vincent, how much do you earn a month? Got a girlfriend yet? My mom would smile and shoo me into the kitchen. He's still young. No rush. He's 28. Not so young anymore. Should I introduce someone to him? Don't bother. Let's wait a bit longer. Wait? For what? Her excuses were getting more and more half-hearted. My company wasn't doing well. Rumor had it there was going to be a change in leadership, and they'd already laid off a batch of new hires. I had a backup plan. If I got fired, I'd go back and take over my dad's restaurant. But the first notice I received wasn't a layoff. It was a promotion. My co-workers were stunned. When I was summoned to the boss's office, I was stunned too. The new boss was Jason Banks. I was so shocked I forgot to even greet him. There he was, sitting properly behind his desk in a sharp suit and gold-rimmed glasses. The picture of a commanding CEO. Who would have thought? After all these years, my ex-boyfriend was now my boss, holding complete power over my career. I glanced down at myself, a regular corporate drone who had to bow and scrape in front of my superiors. Jason's gaze seemed to say the same thing. After all these years, you haven't made any progress. As much as I wanted to, life hadn't given me a single chance to get back on my feet. When you're unlucky, even drinking cold water makes you choke. It was his turn to laugh at me now. But to my surprise, Jason stayed silent. He signed documents, reviewed contracts, and didn't look at me once. I didn't dare say anything either. He was my boss now, and if I messed up, I'd be fired. So I stood there in his office the entire afternoon. Pure revenge. The co-workers who had been envious of me at first gradually started pitying me. Poor Vincent. The new boss is targeting him right away. Yeah, good thing it's not me. Shh. Better not slack off for now. As expected, I was called in again the next day. This time, Jason told me to sit on the couch while he glanced at me occasionally, like he was digging up old grudges. I couldn't take it anymore and slammed my hand on his desk. Jason Banks, I admit it, I can't beat you. I'll resign, okay? He finally looked me in the eye. Resign? Who's going to pay your $5,000 a month mortgage? I deflated. Then what do you want from me? Leaning back in his chair, he said, seduce me, and maybe I'll give you a raise. Are you insane? Why would I do that? Because you can't forget me. You're so full of yourself. Jason let out a cold laugh and in an instant, pinned me against the desk. Vincent, it's been years. Miss me? No. I turned my head, refusing to look at him. Really, his teasing expression shifted to something more serious. Because I missed you. Miss me? Did I hear that right? If he missed me, why make me stand all afternoon? Clearly, he was just trying to get back at me. Let me go, and we'll talk, I said. Jason obediently released me. Have you been doing well these past few years? I have time later. Maybe we can. Before he could finish, his assistant's voice came from outside, sounding urgent. Jason gave me a lingering look before leaving, his words unfinished. I was left alone, my heart pounding in my chest. Why did this guy keep getting more handsome? Wealth really is the best skincare routine, sigh. Although our breakup ended on bad terms, I didn't do anything so unforgivable to him. Does he really have to torment me like this? Maybe I should find a chance to apologize and ask him to let me off the hook. After all, a promotion means a salary raise. For the next few days, Jason Banks wasn't in the office. My co-workers said he was on a business trip. After work one evening, I overheard some receptionists gossiping. I heard the new boss has a fiancée. She's his childhood sweetheart. What a shame. I was hoping to become the boss's wife. Who wasn't? The image of that petite, sweet-looking girl I once saw at Jason's house flashed through my mind. So she's back now. They really are a perfect match, in both family background and compatibility. I felt distracted the whole evening. While helping out at the restaurant, I mixed up orders and even broke a plate. My mom finally shooed me home. If you're tired, just go rest. Don't cause more trouble here. The walk home was about 10 minutes. I felt stifled and short of breath, desperate for some fresh air. When I got downstairs, I noticed the black sedan that always parked in our neighborhood lighting up its headlights. I walked over, curious. Who's this unlucky soul who's been blocking my way for years? To my shock, Jason stepped out of the car. I froze. That car had been parked here nearly every night since we broke up. So he'd been here all along. Vincent, I'm capable now. No one can oppose us anymore. Will you accept me? At that moment, I understood my heart clearly. I didn't want to lose him. I didn't want him to be with anyone else. I only wanted him to belong to me. I ran over, threw my arms around him, and whispered in his ear, I love you. His response was countless repetitions of, I love you too. In the middle of the night, as I got up from Jason's embrace, I suddenly remembered something. What about your fiancé? What fiancé? I explained the office rumors to him. That's you, he said, smirking. I spread those rumors myself. Too many girls in the company wanted to compete with you. I didn't want you to misunderstand. Scheming as ever, I said, rolling my eyes. But what about your parents? I've grown wings. They can't control me anymore. Vincent, I never needed their approval to be with you. I know you broke up with me because of my dad. But now, I have the ability to make sure you can be with me without worry. For Mid-Autumn Festival, I brought Jason home and confessed our relationship to my parents. To my surprise, they agreed just like that. I was shocked. I'd even prepared myself to have my legs broken. Their reaction made it seem like they already knew about us. My mom smiled. We could hear you sobbing every night back then, you know. Jason, she added, if you come back any later, I really would have found someone else for Vincent. So her constant let's wait a bit longer to that regular customer made sense now. Jason spent New Year's at my house. As we stood by the window, watching the city lights, he wrapped his arms around me and bit my shoulder lightly. If you dare block me again, I'll lock you up, he warned. I won't. I swear, I absolutely won't this time.